I'm the Great Renfield, and you're watching Transylvania Tonight with my Master Drac and Countess Carita. And now I'm going to do a magic trick for you. Are you ready, kids? Okay. I'm going to make myself disappear. Here we go. I can't see you. Can you see me?
Yes.
Kids? 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 Where'd they go? Oh, I didn't make myself disappear. I made them disappear. Oh, their mothers are going to be so mad.
I'm Countess Carita, and welcome to Transylvania Tonight. We have a great movie for you this evening, featuring a creepy guy who makes plans to come back from the dead. And speaking of creepy guys that come back from the dead, here's my number one creep, my deadest Drac.
No. Thanks, Carita. Stick around. I think it's going to be another one of those nights. You know what I mean? Spider sense tingling. Not even close to being live from the Borgo Pass. It's Transylvania Tonight with your hosts, that award-winning king of the vampires, Drac, and Countess Carita, the darling of the undead. Join Drac and Carita for tonight's feature film, Boris Karloff in The Ghoul. Psst. I'm Drac. You know the old ball and chain over here. That's Countess Carita. And welcome to Transylvania Tonight.
We have a great movie for you this evening, starring the legendary Boris Karloff, the Ghoul.
When this film was made, Karloff's star was really on the rise. He was coming off the successes of Frankenstein and The Mummy, and so Gaumont British hired him to return home to his native England to make tonight's film.
Also appearing in this film with Boris are Ernest Thesiger, who you'll remember from films like The Old Dark House and Bride of Frankenstein, Sir Cedric Hardwicke, who played that other son of Frankenstein in Ghost of Frankenstein, and making his film debut is Ralph Richardson.
You know, you may say, hey Drac, doggone it, just what is a ghoul? Well, one definition of it, no, that's better. One definition of a ghoul is that it's a demon who preys on the dead by defiling their graves and eating their remains.
A ghoul is also defined as a grave robber, or someone who revels in doing revolting things.
So I would suppose that for tonight's movie, the definition Carita just gave you would be most fitting, because in this movie, Boris Karloff is trying to rob his own grave of himself.
So, here it is from 1933.
Boris Karloff starring in The Ghoul.
Ball and chain, huh?
Oh, Carita, I meant it in the nicest possible way. Well, yeah, sure, you know, it's a term of endearment.
To who?
I'll get back to you on that.
We don't want to buy no lino, no nothing.
Mr. Dragore, please.
Oh, him.
No sound, please. After 2 years I find you. I want the eternal light.
You found me too late. It's no longer mine.
I can kill with this from the end of the room. No lies, please.
You cannot kill in England, Mahmoud. They get their murderers here and hang them.
I have not come alone. If I hang, there are others. The eternal light goes back to the tomb from which you stole it.
But I tell you, I have not got it.
Please, I am not a child.
I sold it
To whom did you sell it?
to Professor Morland.
That robber of the dead. Has he sold it?
He did not buy to sell.
What then?
Like you, Mahmoud. She believes.
Believes? He believes that the eternal light will open for him the gates of paradise?
Even so, he gave the best part of his fortune for it. And very soon he will know whether or not he was right.
What do you mean?
Professor Morland is dying.
Then you think it will be buried with him?
I'm sure of it. We have only got to wait until he is dead.
Anubis. Open out of the way.
Well, what is it?
Good evening. I happen to be staying in the neighborhood, and hearing of your master's illness, I took the liberty of calling. How is he tonight?
He'll never see the morning.
He hasn't asked for anyone of my cloth.
Nor will he. He's set in his ways, and they're the ways of the heathen.
I know he won't see the rector, but though I'm a comparative stranger, I don't like to leave a man to die like that.
He'll die in his own fashion, as he has lived.
Still, sometimes at the end.
Not with him. He's stubborn and unbending, and will be so at the throne itself.
Well, I suppose I can be of no use then.
No manner of use.
Good night.
He's asking for you. Where can I find Mr. Brown?
Who is it? Come in or go out.
You'll have to go up soon if you want to see him again. Curious house, this.
Curious owner.
Yes, but I suppose a great Egyptologist can't be expected to be like other people.
Well, he'll be like a great many other people soon.
That's not a very sympathetic thing to say.
Well, I'm not a sympathetic man. Want a drink?
That's, across the hall, isn't it?
I dare say.
Thanks.
$75,000, September 22nd, 1931. Daily Journal. The eternal light, mine at last.
What's he there?
I'm here.
Is the door shut?
It is.
No listeners.
None.
The curtains.
They are drawn.
Come nearer. This man, Broughton. Watch. Broughton.
You are always suspicious. Have you ever trusted a living soul?
Only fools. I trust you.
Better to trust in the spirit than in the flesh.
I put my trust in my own gods. And now, when I am dead, my funeral, you will bury me at dusk in the clothes I told you. You will place the figure of Anubis at the west of the inner chamber.
I will.
And on the night of the full moon. At the first hour, I will make my offering of the eternal light to Anubis, opener of the ways. If I have done well in his sight, those fingers will close over the jewel, and he will open to me the gates of immortality.
The hand of a heathen image will now come to life.
Ah, the bandage. The bandage. Look. This is the eternal light. It must rest in my hand.
A man will now find peace who robs his heirs.
Bandage my hand. The eternal light must lie with me in the tomb. You're afraid of me?
I'm afraid for you.
If this should leave me, then you'll have reason to fear. For when the full moon strikes the door of my tomb, I will come back. You hear? I will come back to kill. Bandage my hand.
Doctor!
Windows. Open. Oh.
All over. Make out a certificate. Heart failure. What was the idea of bandaging his hand like that?
I cannot say. He had many a queer fancy.
I'll be round in the morning to sign the certificate.
I'll no be leaving my master's side till his body is laid to rest.
Hey, Drac here, and it's time to take a peek behind the scenes at how television works in a segment that we call TV Biz with Drac and Countess Carita. Now, one thing you need to know is that the television business is just a great big game of numbers. Right, Carita?
That's right, Drac. Numbers are very important, and we're proud to announce that the number of viewers here at Transylvania Tonight have been growing.
In fact, we discovered that the number of viewers for one of our recent shows had practically doubled from the same time period just a year ago. And those numbers were already pretty good. So hey, thanks, babe.
And we've also recently discovered who our target demographics are.
Now, a demographic is a societal subset of people. And when you look at that demographic, it tells you just what type of person is watching a show like Transylvania Tonight. For example, we discovered that our top demographic are men 55 to 64 years of age.
That's followed by men 45 to 54, and right behind that are men 65 and older. So even though we do perform strongly with women too, our top 3 demographics are men 45 and older.
So you know what that means, Carita.
No, Drac, what?
Well, that means if you're watching us right now, chances are pretty doggone good that it's time for you to schedule an appointment for a colonoscopy.
And that's tonight's look behind the scenes at TV Biz. Drac,
Yeah, babies.
have you had a colonoscopy recently?
Twice.
Twice?
Yeah, twice. I liked it. I liked it a lot. In fact, maybe I liked it too much.
Where are you going?
To feed the lamp that is to burn inside.
It's all wrong.
It's a disgraceful trouble.
Wait. You're leaving the key inside.
Aye. That was another of his queer fancies.
When your master died, Lang, I believe him to have been possessed of a jewel of great value. Do you know anything about it?
Nothing.
I advise you to be very careful, Lang.
I have a careful nature.
You may be putting yourself perilously near dishonesty.
I've seen men nearer.
You may regret this, Lang. I want you to stay here and watch that man with a club foot.
I'm not a detective, Mr. Broughton.
One more word from you, Davis, and you're out of work. I have reason to believe that he has stolen a valuable piece of property. He may make an effort to get rid of it. Watch him and telephone me at my office if he leaves the house.
Very good, sir.
Harlan. Miss Betty Harlan, 52 Langford Street. From Wrexham. 10 shillings if you'll drive me to Yaxford Station in time to catch the 5 o'clock train.
I'll oblige you, Governor. I was going straight back as it was.
That's a very old carpet, Mr. Morland. I should be glad if you will not kick it to pieces.
I'm sorry. When I'm angry, I do kick.
You're good enough to explain that.
Yes, I intend to. By your own statement, Miss Holland and I are the sole heirs of Professor Morland. We were informed neither of his death nor of his funeral.
Your uncle died and was buried in a certain way according to his wishes, which need I go on? Almost his last words were a threat to return from the dead. In my opinion, he was mad.
Well, that may be so. But Miss Holland and I should have been consulted.
But I understood that you and Miss Holland were not on speaking terms.
Well, what of that? You expect quiet at a funeral, don't you?
Yes, I also expect it in my office.
I'm very sorry, but after all, this means a good deal to both of us. Uncle was worth about $4,000 a year.
Well, he isn't now.
What do you mean by that?
He spent a good deal, you know. It may surprise you to know that some time ago he drew a cheque for £75,000.
What for?
I don't know.
You don't know? You were in charge of all his affairs and you don't know?
That's what I said. And I advise you to look after the tone of your voice.
I'm not at all sure. I have much more important things to look after than the tone of my voice.
I don't follow you.
I'm going to run down to Owlsvale House tomorrow morning.
Yes, I don't think you realize the conditions that you'll find there.
No, that's why I propose to go.
You won't like it. You'll be most uncomfortable.
You don't advise me to go?
I think you'll be making a very big mistake.
Then I'll go. Oh, by the way, does Miss Harlan know anything about this will business?
No doubt she will have received a letter from me by now.
Do you know Miss Harlan?
No. I propose to give myself the pleasure of calling upon her this evening. Hello. Oh, it's you, Davies. Wait a minute. I have a visitor here, but I think he's just going.
Thank you very much. If you're going to see Miss Harlan tonight, I shall be there myself.
No doubt you will succeed in making a painful interview intolerable. Good afternoon.
Your manner must help your practice a great deal.
Now, Davies.
Can you direct me to Blandford Street, please?
Follow the tram lines, close on a mile, and then turn right at the church.
I'm obliged to you.
Oh, hello, Caney. Ooh. Oh, it's good to get out of that fog. My dear, a most exciting thing has happened. Oh, don't let it happen again. No, not that. That's a chestnut. It's this. It looks like a solicitor's letter, just been delivered by hand. Oh, dear. What haven't we paid? I wonder if I'm going to get a shock or not. Oh, Caney, that is a silly game. After all we've said about Uncle Henry, what do you think he's done? Something nice at last? He's dead. My dear, I'm sorry. And his solicitor wants to see me. My dear, I'm glad. He was awfully rich, wasn't he? He may have left you a fortune. If he has, I'll buy you a private cinema. Oh, I say, when did this letter come? A few minutes ago. Why? He asked me to telephone him if I could see him here at 6. You don't want to miss the chance of a fortune for the sake of tuppence. You better run out and do it now. You're right.
Miss Harlan.
Yes?
What's the matter? What's happened?
Somebody attacked me and snatched my bag.
Why, good Lord, it's Betty Harlan.
Rafe Morland.
You would go and get yourself into some kind of mix-up.
You would arrive when it's all over.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going home.
Wait a minute. I was on my way to see you, strictly on business.
You wouldn't be allowed in for any other reason.
That's good. Taxi. Cunningham Garage, as quickly as possible.
Delighted to see you. No, it isn't Mr. Broughton. It's my cousin, Rafe Morland.
Dear Mr. Morland, we're delighted to see you.
Wrong again. We don't like him very much.
Oh, don't we? I didn't realize.
Well, our two families are not on speaking terms.
Oh, dear.
As far as I can make out, it was started by my late uncle as a Christmas joke.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
But now he's dead. The trouble's all over.
I'm not sure. It hasn't just begun.
Where's Mr. Broughton?
Oh, he won't come because I didn't telephone. I nearly got throttled instead.
Betty!
There was a man with a limp. He pushed a note into my hand. I just put it in my bag when somebody snatched the whole affair.
What was in it?
There's something of value at Owl's Vale. Others are after it, so come.
And Broughton was doing everything he knew to keep me away from there. There's a fox in the cover somewhere. Goodbye.
Oh, why goodbye?
I'm going down there right away. I'll let you know what happens.
You're wrong. I'll let myself know. If you go, I go too.
You can't do that. Alone in a house with a man you're not even on speaking terms with?
Oh, don't be so absurd. It's not as if I even liked him.
Oh, if another woman was going, perhaps.
I suppose that means you want to come too.
Well, obviously, it's my duty.
And suppose I object?
I'm not so broke I can't hire a car.
Oh, all right, you win, but for goodness sake, hurry. Girls, was getting this as best you can. There you are.
You first.
No, you. Hurry up. Oh, this is an unspeakable car.
There's no room for my legs.
All right, go on.
It looks as if I'll have to walk.
You might do worse. There's a grand moon. It's full.
see if there's a name on this gate. No, there's nothing to show. This is the place.
But there aren't any other places, and I'm frozen.
Well, it's no use going to the wrong place.
Wait a minute, here's someone on a bike. Hi there, Cocky, wait a minute. Oh, hello. I'm awfully sorry, I didn't see you were a parson.
Oh, that's all right. Any trouble?
Oh, no. We just want to get to Owlsvale House.
Well, this is it. As a matter of fact, I'm calling there myself.
What did you know my uncle, Professor Morland?
Oh, slightly. Perhaps I ought to introduce myself. My name's Hartley, Nigel Hartley. I'm down at Raveley. The vicar's ill.
How'd you do? I'm Rafe Morland. This is Miss Harlem. We're the heirs of the old...
Couldn't we have the rest of the introduction indoors?
Yes, of course. You must be cold. All right, straight down this drive. You go along, I'll follow.
All right.
Here we are. Car'll be all right here. I'll show you the way.
What a horrible house. I wish I was back home in bed.
I can hear someone coming.
Ah.
Well, don't stand about. Come inside. We'll go into the library.
Welcome to Letters to Drac, where you, the home viewer, writes letters to me, Count Dracula, Prince of Darkness, your friendly neighborhood king of the vampires, and I answer them for you right here, doggone it, on the show. Do we have a letter tonight, Carita?
We do.
Oh, great. Well, then let's get to it.
Drac.
What, Bob?
We're not doing letters to Drac tonight.
We're not?
No, you must not have gotten the memo. We're running another segment here.
Well, okay, let's run that video, and we'll just save this letter for another night when we can do it complete justice, because, you know, we don't want to rush through the letter.
Hi! This is Dr. Dread. We're from Dr. Dread Reviews, and we are giving you the Transylvania Tonight halftime report.
The Transylvania Tonight halftime report?
Yes, the Transylvania Tonight halftime report.
What's that?
Well, Bucky, we're going to rate and review the first half of Transylvania Tonight.
We is? We is?
we are. And I thought that it had a nice, strong opening, Bucky. You know, with Rainfield.
Yeah.
He's like a fan favorite. Everybody loves Rainfield.
Oh, he's good.
He is good. And, you know, he's funny. And, you know, tonight he came through for us with a strong opening, well thought out dialogue, and he's very charismatic.
And he was funny, too.
Yeah, I just said that.
Said what? Said what?
But he's funny.
So did I. What a coincidence.
It is a coincidence.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Because of the entertaining opening with Rainfield, that I would feel comfortable. That alone earns them one skull rating. One skull.
Yes.
Okay. Moving along to the Countess Carita.
Oh, she's beautiful.
You know, she is quite lovely, and the fans adore her. Her presence on the show just shines bright like a beautiful full moon over the swamp.
Yes.
I'm digressing. Let's give her, let's give the Countess Carita 2.5 skulls. 2.5 skulls just for being on the show.
Wow. That's 3.5 skulls. Only a half skull to go, and Transylvania Tonight will get a perfect 4-skull review.
Yeah, and it's only halftime. So 1 skull for Rainfield, 2.5 skulls for the Countess Carita. So that equals 3.5 skulls.
Yes.
Yes, and then there's Drac. Then there's Drac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And then there's Drac.
And there's Drac. What can you say about Drac? He's Drac.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the Countess Carita did a great job.
Superb. Superb job. Yes. Rainfield was funny.
Yes.
So there you have it. 3.5 skulls.
Yes.
Good job, Transylvania Tonight.
And
Good job, Rainfield and Countess Carita. And Drac. Yeah, Drac. Let's go back to the show.
Let's get back to the movie.
That was a great review, wasn't it, Drac?
Oh yeah, it was okay.
You know what he reminded me of?
No, what?
He reminded me of one of those game shows like Family Feud, where the first player does really, really well. And so the second player just has to get a few points to win. But then they do really horrible, and so they still end up losing.
That's what it reminded you of, huh?
Or like a relay race, where the first 3 runners go really, really fast, and so the fourth guy just has to walk across the finish line. But then he trips and falls, and so they still end up losing.
That's great, Carita.
Or like in baseball.
We get it, Carita. We get it. We get it. Now let's get back to the movie. At least I look good doing it. Don't I?
I may be old-fashioned, but I feel awkward when I'm not introduced to people.
I'm sorry, I forgot you didn't know your clients by sight. This is Miss Holland.
How do you do? I was expecting a telephone message from you.
Oh, I was on my way to call you up when the most extraordinary thing happened.
And this is Miss Caney.
How do you do?
You're a surprise, Broughton.
I have a great deal of business to clear up down here.
This house has needed a woman for about 25 years. Now I've blinded myself.
You haven't wasted much time in getting here, Mr. Morland.
No, just a little too much, perhaps.
Whatever do you mean? Really, you're the rudest man alive.
Oh, pretty pussy. How horrible. It's stuffed.
I dare say you know your own business best, but why you should want to bring a parson...
A pure accident. We met at the gates.
So naturally you brought him in.
Broughton, I can stand a certain amount, but no more.
Oh, come, don't let's make a battle of it.
You stay here in the car.
No. I shall be among the trees, watching.
You may say I've no right to express this opinion, but to my mind it's a scandalous and disgraceful burial which may have disastrous consequences.
It would be very disastrous if he came back, wouldn't it? I quite see Mr. Hartley's point.
Yes, you make friends quickly, don't you?
And enemies quicker.
Need we have these childish squabbles? We all know the dead men don't come back.
Oh, I wish I was back home in bed.
Hadn't somebody better answer that?
Certainly. It's your house.
Very well.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I was an intimate friend of Professor Molan.
Well, you'd better come in. You seem to be giving a party.
Oh, thank you. My name is Aga Ben Dragore.
An Egyptian?
An Arab.
I don't remember having heard your name.
I did not flatter myself that you would. But I knew Professor Molan some years ago, in Egypt. I heard of his death, and of his burial in my own faith, and I hoped, as I'm leaving England tomorrow, that I might be allowed to visit his tomb.
I must protest against anything of the sort.
Why shouldn't the poor man look at his friend's tomb?
I don't mind him going.
I can't believe that you'd willingly encourage paganism.
The Egyptians were not pagans, sir. As no doubt you know, Miss...
Caney, I think you're all being very unkind to Mr. Dragore.
I don't think you people realize quite how far Moreland's queer ideas took him. He even believed that after his death at a certain hour, the image of Anubis would come to life in his tomb and receive his soul. It's horrible.
Well, I can't see that it matters. After all, if that sort of mumbo-jumbo gave him any comfort,
It matters a great deal.
If my suggestion is likely to hurt anyone's feelings, please forget it.
Oh, I think that's very sweet of you, Mr. Dragore.
Oh, your sympathy is more than charming.
Well, what about a cup of coffee after your cold drive? I dare say we should find some in the kitchen.
May I offer my services as pantryman?
Quite sweet of you. Come, Mr. Dragore.
For sheer speed. She'll not let him out of her sight for a moment now.
Perhaps that's just as well.
Come along, Betty. How about making a fire in the library?
Yes.
I'm sorry there should be this sort of atmosphere. After all, we're only ships that pass in the night.
You want a drink or will you pass now?
Oh, well, thank you very much.
There you are.
Well, if you build it that way, there won't be any draft.
Well, it'll be the only place in this house where there isn't one, then.
Oh, don't you think you carry those snappy retorts a trifle too far? Since we met, I can't remember you saying a kind word to anyone.
Perhaps you're right. I'm sorry.
Six cups. That's just 4 too many. Eh?
Tell me about Egypt. Have you ever seen a sheik?
I am one.
Oh, thank you. Then how should I address you? Oh, I'm cutting sandwiches for a sheik. I don't feel quite well.
Oh, don't be alarmed. We're not quite as uncivilized as people think.
Oh, don't say that. Do you ride a white stallion?
Sometimes.
Oh, down the path of the moon, the noble animal plunging and frothing up the nostrils till it founders at your feet, faithful unto death.
No, not very often. You see, it's rather too expensive.
I know it's not your fault. We were taught to hate one another, but...
Good Lord, you don't think I hate you, do you?
Well, I can't somehow feel I'm your dearest friend.
You never did have a great deal of sense, did you?
Oh, that's nice. Rafe, I have a woman's intuition that you and I are up against things.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we are.
Well, then, let's cut the quarreling.
Shoulder to shoulder, eh? All right. Partners.
Partners.
Ah.
Oh, what a wonderful night. It's a full moon.
Scared of a dead man in his tomb? Shame on yourself. Are you a child that your knee should rattle at the talk of a madman? Look your enemy in the face. It's the fear of the big door has got you, and will hold you fast till you stare it down. Do dead men walk? I'm no thinking a dead man will cross my path tonight.
Hi, babies. What are you doing?
I'm reading Monster Mash magazine.
Oh, that's nice.
What are you doing?
Well, I thought I'd put my painting of the Frankenstein monster right here between us.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anything really good about this issue of Monster Bash magazine?
Well, of course, Ron Adams' articles are always very good.
Oh, I always loved him. He's so insightful.
There's also a good article by Frank Dell'Ostrito and one by Leonard Hayhurst.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Lots of nice pictures, too.
Well, there are always a lot of nice pictures. Yeah. Anything else?
Hey, that's quite enough, Drac.
Well, it is quite a bit, because like you said, you know, there's Ron's column and articles by people like, whoa, that expert of facto fiction, Frank Dell'Ostrito.
Mm-hmm.
You got all those pictures, and you got some nice artwork, so I guess, you know, Monster Bash number 46 would be the magazine to get. So anything else you can say about it, Carita?
Well, I haven't gotten through very much of it yet, Drac.
Okay. Let me know when you do.
Okay. I was just teasing. I know Drac's very excited because his artwork is appearing on this issue's cover, number 46. And you can get your copy by going to www.creepyclassics.com.
Now I will show you how we make coffee in the desert, underneath the stars.
You don't make it yourself, do you?
No, of course not. A Circassian slave, lovely as sin, cooks it for us, kneeling. And if it is not to our liking...
I know. She's stripped to the waist and lashed for miles across the Sahara.
Where she is finally eaten by locusts, and rightly. Now, take this canister and do exactly as I tell you.
And if I fail?
The Yorkshire moors are just behind us. Now, 6 spoonfuls. 1. 2. 3. 4.
What's the matter with you? Are you mad, eh?
What was the matter with him? Was it drink?
No. Terror. Stark terror.
Oh, then I've caught it.
You stay here. I'll look after him.
If you must look after somebody, why look further?
Eh? Come on then.
Rafe, that limp, I'd swear to it anywhere. That's the man.
Look here, did you give a note to this young
Gather up your things and get out of here. The master, I've seen him. You...
Who screamed?
I did. That's the last time I'll ever try to make coffee in a strange house.
That man with the limp. Who was he?
Lang, your uncle's servant.
Well, he seemed mad to me.
Yes, and probably dangerous. You others had better go into the library. I'll have a word with him.
Yes, come along. Mr. Broughton understands the man.
It would do no harm to warn my man to stand by.
Your man? Is he a sheik too?
No, he's his chauffeur. He's outside now with my car.
You're not leaving us, are you?
My dear lady.
Not a very courageous person, our foreign friend.
You think he's run away? Absurd. I'd like to see you riding your bicycle with a Circassian slave, lovely as sin, across the handlebars.
What on earth are you talking about?
Now listen, good people.
Good people?
Don't you think perhaps we're allowing this thing to get on our nerves? Don't you think perhaps if we took a grip on our self-control...
Now listen, good parson. This is our show, and our nerves are probably just as good as the next man's. So keep that sort of talk for your pulpit.
Ray!
Oh, well, of course, I've no wish to interfere where I'm not wanted.
Then don't. This is not a Sunday school.
After that, I think I can say good night.
As you please. Well, I'm sorry I was offensive. Good night.
Oh, well, the tongue is an unruly member, is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
I was tempted. I was tempted, but I did not fall. I did not fall. The thing's safe. I swear it. When you told me you'd come back from the grave, how could I believe you? I never knew such things could be. got it. I have no got it. The girl. She has it. I swear it. Oh, oh.
What's the matter with you? You look as if you'd seen a ghost.
I have. I saw Morlant as plainly as I see you. I'm going to mix myself a drink.
Howdy, Jack Torrance here, manager of the beautiful Overlook Hotel. You know, folks ask me all the time, Jack, is the Overlook a child-friendly destination? Well, of course it is. There are plenty of playmates that your children can spend time with here, who are always awake and roaming the halls, anytime, day and night. And all the kids love spending lots of time exploring in our maze. In fact, there's one little nipper who's been in there since 1936. He just won't come out. And old Uncle Jack is always happy to babysit the kiddies for you. They just love my stories about the Overlook. And I know hundreds of them. Like our own version of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre that resulted in more than 24 gangsters having their brains splattered all over the lobby. You should see the wide-eyed wonder of the children when I tell them that massacre happened right where they're sitting. And their eyes get even bigger when Louie the Weasel shows up to tell them about it face to face. Or tell them about it with what's left of his face. And remember, there's always a free continental breakfast, assuming you make it till morning. So join us for a night you'll never want to leave. And even if you do, we won't let you. Come to the Overlook, where we don't overlook anything, and we'll turn your lights out for you.
Betty, just a minute.
Well?
I have an idea they're trying to scare us out of this house. There's no use blinding ourselves to the facts. There must be something pretty big at stake.
Something that depends on getting rid of us?
That's how it looks to me.
What are we going to do?
Betty, I'm going down to that tomb and find out whether it's the only way we've got of finding out what's going on around here.
Well, I don't want to be left here alone. Can I come too?
There's nothing wrong with your nerve. Come on.
I'll put on a pullover and some thicker shoes.
All right. Is this yours?
Yes.
I'll keep an eye on Broughton. Well, I think you've every chance of seeing things if you lower Scotch at that pace.
Mr. Gregore! Mr. Gregore! Mr. Gregore! Mr. Gregore! Oh, there you are. Oh, Mr. Gregore, I'll come up to you.
Wait. I'll come down. What do you want?
There was somebody in the library.
Who?
I don't know. The door, it's shut. It's shut.
Don't scream.
Oh, that's what I need. The command in your wonderful voice.
Come with me.
I think you've gone far enough with your insinuations.
Yes, and I may go a great deal farther. What is it? What's the matter?
I've seen him.
Now perhaps you'll believe what I told you.
Get me a glass of water quickly, will you?
Thanks. I wasn't hurt, only frightened.
Broughton, see if you can find Miss Caney, will you?
It's wonderful to be with a man who isn't afraid.
I am afraid.
You, who have ridden barebacked over the desert.
If you don't stop chattering, I'm afraid I shall have a knife in my back.
But when I'm with you, I have to talk. It comes like poetry.
Are you prepared to obey me?
In anything.
Then close your eyes and don't speak for 10 seconds.
Panic sometimes.
I felt his hands on me.
That's why I know it was no ghost.
It was no ghost. Look at the clock. It's nearing the hour. I know where you'll find him now. He's gone back to the tomb, to his heathen gods.
And you and I will follow in there. Wait a minute. What's his doctor's telephone number?
Yaxford 72.
I'm Drac, and this is the Borgo Pass Report. Our top story tonight, whoa, looks like we got breaking newses. For more on this, we go to our Countess Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Drac.
Sure, baby.
I've gone on a health kick, and I'm very proud to announce that I've gone vegan.
You're only eating vegetables?
No, I'm only eating vegans. Back to you, Drac.
What do you use on your vegan?
Raspberry vinaigrette, of course.
Good choice, Carita. Beautiful, yeah. All right, our top story tonight, we go to our man in the asylum, well, our man in the field, Mr. Renfield, who is telling us that he's got an exciting story for us tonight. Are you there, Renfield?
I am, Drac.
And you have a great story for us tonight.
I do. It's a story of adventure on the high seas.
Really?
Yes. Last night, I was out on my yacht with...
You were on your yacht?
I was. I was there with 3 Norwegian bathing beauties.
Is that anything like Scandinavian bikini models?
Pretty much the same thing. In fact, they were wearing bikinis.
Ah. Well, that would be proper yacht wear.
Exactly. So I was out on my yacht with 3 Norwegian bathing beauties when a pirate ship approached and overtook us.
What happened?
The pirates boarded our ship.
That must have been pretty hairy.
Well, it wasn't as hairy as me, but it was scary.
Hairy scary?
You betcha. So the pirate captain came on board last and said he had been searching for the seas for 3 Norwegian bathing beauties, and the pirates all drew their swords.
What did you do?
drew my sword.
You had a sword?
Of course.
Of course.
So I drew my sword and engaged the pirates in combat. One by one, I skewered the water rats and hid them off my yacht. One over the port side, two over the starboard, and half a dozen fore and a dozen aft. I was hacking and hewing like my life depended on it, and the honor of my passengers, the 3 Norwegian bathing beauties, of course, depended on it too.
The Scandinavian bikini models.
Same thing. So finally, it came down to me and the pirate captain. We matched each blow for blow, parry and thrust for the better part of an hour.
Then what happened?
Well, I was getting pretty tired, so I used my noggin.
You came up with a plan?
No, literally used my noggin. When he thrust it in, and I parried, and I headbutted him, and cracked his skull with my forehead, and that knocked him out cold, and I dumped him over the side of the yacht into the ocean.
You could have keel-hauled him.
Drac, watch your language.
Oh, no, Carita. What that actually means is... Oh, never mind. So tell us, Renfield, what happened then?
Well, those Norwegian bathing beauties were so grateful that I'd saved them from the pirates that they offered to do anything for me that I wanted them to.
So what did you do?
We went out for ice cream. I had a banana split with extra flies.
Oh. You know, Renfield, I never knew that you had a yacht.
I did in my dream.
Your dream?
Yeah, it was the dream I had last night. It was a good one, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, great. Talk to you later, Brownbeard.
Aye, master.
Sheesh. Oh, man. Whoa! Looks like we got breaking news. For more on this, we go to our Countess, Carita. Carita?
Thanks, Drac.
Sure, baby.
We here at Transylvania Tonight are proud to report the results of a Dr. Dread review of this program. If you were watching earlier this evening, you heard the doctor's verdict.
Let's give her, let's give the Countess Carita 2.5 skulls. 2.5 skulls just for being on the show.
Wow! That's 3.5 skulls? Only a half skull to go, and Transylvania Tonight will get a perfect 4-skull review.
Yeah, and it's only halftime. So 1 skull for Rainfield, 2.5 skulls for the Countess Carita. So that equals 3.5 skulls.
Yes.
Yes, and then there's Drac. Then there's Drac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And then there's Drac.
And there's Drac. What can you say about Drac? He's Drac.
Yes?
Yeah.
But the Countess Carita did a great job.
Superb. Superb job. Yes. Rainfield was funny.
Yes.
So there you have it. 3.5 skulls.
Yes.
Good job, Transylvania Tonight.
And
Good job, Rainfield and Countess Carita. And Drac. Yeah, Drac.
We'd like to thank Dr. Dread for his kind words and great review. Back to you, Drac.
Thanks. Well, that's all the time we have for this time. We'll see you next time on the Borgo Pass Report. Really, Carita? You reran that Dr. Dread review?
It was nice. It's just too bad you couldn't get us a half a skull to give us a perfect 4-skull review.
Oh, would you like to rub some more salt into the wound?
Where's the salt shaker?
You know, I've never gotten a bad review.
Well, you have now.
Are you still here? Go away! And seriously, I've never gotten a bad review. Never! Don't even say it. I mean it! What's this mean? Good. And now, here's an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass news director, Draucho.
Draucho here, the Borgo Pass news director, with an editorial comment. Well, there I was, late last night. A sea on the Bounty, Maine. A salty mist hitting my back. In nautical terms, for all of you landlubbers out there, that means I was riding along on a boat. But I don't want to mislead you. The salty mist had nothing to do with the ocean breeze. It was actually the salty language that was being shouted at me behind my back by my pirate crew as they yelled and spit at me. But I didn't let that bother me, because I was on the deck of my own ship. I cut quite a heroic swashbuckling figure there. I looked a bit like Errol Flynn or Tyrone Power, or maybe a more contemporary, more masculine version of Fabio off the cover of some romance novel. Well, now, you know, in good conscience, I just can't lie to you. I wasn't standing on the deck. I was actually leaning over the railing and heaving, losing my lunch, because the Bounty, Maine was a bit choppy last night. But as I was there, leaning over the railing, losing my lunch, on the horizon I spotted a small vessel. I pulled out my telescope and looked, and yes, there was one goofy-looking figure on deck, and 3 that were hauntingly familiar. So I called out to my crew, because I was the pirate captain, as you can tell by my eye patch. I said, "Avast ye salty sea dogs! Pull it around starboard!" And they did. And within minutes we had overtaken that small vessel. Using ropes and grappling hooks, we secured it and rafted it off the side of my very own ship. And that's when I walked those ropes down to that ship deck, just like I was an acrobat in a circus. And I drew my sword, and I started to fight with that goofy-looking figure on that ship. I hacked and hewed, and I cut at his knees and legs, and... No, I actually didn't do any of that. I sent the pirates down to do it for me. And they used their heads. They never even had to draw their swords. All they did was give the goofball a stick of gum. He got preoccupied and sat in the corner of his ship, chewing the gum. And then they brought those 3 hauntingly familiars back up on deck to my ship. And I was right. I had known them all along. Why, they were the self-same Scandinavian bikini models that had bound me to my bunk months earlier, ransacking my room, taking cash, and Mother's gold-plated toothpick. Ah, what sentimental value I had wrapped around that gold-plated toothpick. Many's the night as a small child I would watch Mother slaving away in a hot kitchen, that gold-plated toothpick hanging from one corner of her mouth, and a lucky strike from the other. Unfortunately, the cash had been spent, but the most buxom of the bikini models had the gold-plated toothpick. So I snatched it away from her, and I scolded them all. I said, "Bad, bad, bad Scandinavian bikini models. You need to be punished." And one after another they volunteered. "Yes, Captain Draucho, you're right. We must be punished. Take us into your quarters and spank us again, and then have your wicked way with us." I told you it was like Errol Flynn, and you know the title of his biography was My Wicked, Wicked Ways. So I did. I took them in my quarters, I spanked them, and I had my wicked, wicked way with them. Ah, yes. Did all that happen? Why, of course it did. It happened in a dream. You know, if Renfield can dream, well, so can I. And that's the point of this editorial comment. Let this be a lesson. Never give up on your dreams. You may just find yourself with 3 Scandinavian bikini models. I'm Groucho, and this has been my High on the 7 Seas editorial comment.
This has been an editorial comment from the Borgo Pass news director, Groucho.
Look! The door's open and there's a light.
I'll go no nearer. I'll go no nearer.
I can see a shadow moving.
I'll go no nearer.
Well, then, go back. What about it, Betty? Do we go on?
Yes, of course.
Thought you'd say that. Hartley, so you're not a parson, just a dirty cook.
You'd better get out of my way.
Your hand, eh? So that's how it was done.
I wouldn't come any nearer.
I don't have to.
Look, if you please. Thank you. Come on now.
Boris, too late. Are you badly hurt?
No, it's nothing.
Come and sit down.
Where's the key?
He threw it away.
When I phoned the doctor, I told him to bring the police. They ought to find us somehow.
Oh, even if they do come, how can they break down that door?
They'll find a way.
I'll make a bandage.
The doctor in charge didn't understand the case. I'm afraid of catalepsy.
Meaning?
Morlant was buried alive.
Oh, Mr. Dragore, what were those shots?
Out of my way.
Where are the others?
Leave me alone!
Oh.
I rather thought you might be leaving in a hurry with something in your pocket that doesn't belong to you. Hand it over.
You win. That woman! There she is!
Come now.
Oh, you put up your gun, you fool! I tell you, she's got it!
Come on then.
Stop!
Now, Miss Caney, if you please.
I don't think so.
You fool.
If either of you two horrible men so much as move, in it goes.
But you don't know the value of that jewel.
I don't care for the value, it'll go. And if you shoot, I'll go with it. I mean it. Down 30 feet. And about 60 feet of water. And then Australia.
I can't see to tie this. That light seems much lower.
Hartley! Quick, come on, get out, get him out of here.
The door! The door!
Shut!
The flames! They mustn't reach the door!
It's no good, you can't breathe in there.
A cartridge! It's here! If only... If only... I've had enough of this, Miss Caney. Supposing I'm ready to shoot and take the risk.
You'll be taking a bigger risk than you think.
I'll take that gun, thank you.
Now look here.
That'll do. Now, what's the trouble?
This. They're after it. All of them. It belongs
I'll carry her to the house.
Get back! Back in that corner!
Well, there's another show in the record books. We hope you liked it.
Well, the movie did star Boris, and you know you can never go wrong with Boris or Bela.
Oh, no, they were great. They were the kings, right? We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, fly right.
Drac,
Yeah, honey, bet.
I bet if we'd had Boris or Bela here on the show, we could have gotten that extra half skull to get a perfect 4-skull review.
You think so, huh?
Sure.
Well, maybe we'll try to get Boris and Bela for the next show.
I wish.
Well, I'll give their agents a call. And you know, I don't care what Dr. Dredd thinks. At least I look good doing it. Didn't I?
Eh?
Eh?
Could look better.
Well, you know, I think I do pretty doggone good for a guy that can't even see his own reflection in a mirror. You know? I don't know how you do it. You always look like just like absolutely perfect. You can't see yourself in a mirror either. Can you see us? Can you?
Transylvania Tonight is a Fly Right production.
What's wrong, Drac?
Nothing. Why?
Whenever you play with your skulls like that, I know something's bothering you.
Okay, you got me. You know what? I was just looking at this flyer for June's Monster Bash.
Yeah.
Oh boy, and all the great guests they're going to have there, like Carolyn Monroe. Yeah, she was in The Golden Voyage of Sinbad and The Spy Who Loved Me. And then there's, well, Sinbad himself, Patrick Wayne. He's going to be there. And we all know who his daddy was, don't we?
Right.
Yeah. And then there's going to be, Wesley Ure and Kathy Coleman from Land of the Lost. You remember, we did a show with them in Philadelphia once.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. They were a lot of fun. You know, Wesley Ure, he's really nice. And Kathy, well, she's Kathy. She's fun too, yeah. And let's see, who else? Tom Savini, John Russo, Cortland Hull from the Witch's Dungeon Museum. Oh, and there's going to be writers there like
Frank Delastrito.
and Greg Mank.
And
my personal hero, Tom Weaver. And let's not forget the sweetheart of the Monster Bash, Beverly Washburn. Oh, everybody loves Beverly. So, geez, Monster Bash 2022, June 24th to 26th at the Marriott Pittsburgh North.
I wish we could go.
We can, Drac.
We can?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, in fact, we have to.
Huh? We have to?
Yes, we're guests.
We're gonna be guests at Monster Bash?
Yes.
It's all I ever wanted was to be the guest at a Monster Bash convention.
Right.
Oh boy. So you better be there. Come on out if you're in the tri-state area, or you know what, even if you're from the Midwest over, or if you're in the continental United States, you gotta be at this show. Monster Bash, June 24th to 26th. That's gonna be at the Marriott Pittsburgh North. Oh, and you know what? This is gonna be a big show, guaranteed, because that Marriott Pittsburgh North, it's already sold out.
Ah, yes, it is.
But there's a secondary hotel that's within walking distance, not even, just like a football field away from that hotel, and they're offering the same Monster Bash convention rate. So come out and see us. It's June 24th to 26th at Monster Bash. Yeah, at the Marriott Pittsburgh North. And you know what? Even if you have to book into the secondary hotel, that might actually be a good thing, because all the Monster Bash staffers are going to be at that Marriott hotel, which means you can make as much noise as you want all night long. Right, Karita?
Right.
Yeah. So don't disappoint us. We want to see all of you there at Monster Bash. And until then, remember, fly right. Yay! I play with my skulls when I'm happy, too. Don't I?
Yes, you do.
But when I'm really happy, I play with Carita's skull.
You love playing with me.
Eat your heart out, boys. A little bit of Bob Hope there. Hey, everybody in Pennsylvania, you got to come out to the Monster Bash. It's June 24th to 26th at the Pittsburgh Marriott North. I remember I spent an afternoon there in 1943 with Rita Hayworth, entertaining the troops. She was hotter than an afternoon in Guam.